Hi, I'm going to start with this square knot. So we've got the ends of two different pieces of twine on top of each other, one on top of each other. Pretty simple knot. Loop one under and around the other, kind of form that. And then with these two parts up here, we're going to do the exact same thing. One on top of the other, and then loop one around and under. So we got this piece, and then you're just going to pull both ends. The square knot's useful for attaching two pieces of string so that they're longer. Sometimes that's used in baling hay. Alright, now we're going to do the halter hitch knot. Got my hitch right here, my rope. I'm going to have the short end of the rope on the left, and in this case our short end's going to be pretty long. And then our long end on the right. And take our rope and loop in front of our long end, make like a number 4. Take that, again, longer short end, and go back behind the loop we just made, so it looks kind of like a pretzel. And then we're going to take this end through its far end over here, so in front of the middle loop here, and then back under the farthest loop. And then on this side is where it gets tricky. We're not just going to pull here, because that would tie off. We're going to make a loop here. So while I'm holding pressure on this edge of the loop and not coming off of my tie off point, I'm going to carefully pull here until it tightens, looking a little bit like half of a flower with 2 petals. Alright, so like that, got a loop here, short end here, and our main loop at our tie off point here. And then this knot is good for tying off an animal at a hitching post or a fence post. And to undo, I can just pull this, and it's a quick release. Alright, now we're going to do a bowline knot. So I've got my rope hung over our tie-off point. And a real use of this knot, you do a bowline around part of an animal you need to control, like maybe a leg, or very loosely around a neck or a horn. But here's our tie-off point here. So I've got my short end of the rope over here, and my long end of the rope over here. Now on my long end of the rope, I'm gonna twist and make a circle, and with this circle I want the ascending piece of the rope to be in front and the descending piece to be behind. We've got our little loop there, and then I'm going to take our short end of the loop. I'm going to go through that loop from the back, actually, through that loop from the back, around in front of our loop, and then around behind our, I'm going to call it the original, but the descending part beneath that loop. I'm going to go back through our loop, making sure I'm going in from the front and coming out behind. And while keeping tension on our tie-off point, I'm going to pull this loop all the way through. And there's the bowline. And again, the bowline, it's not going to tighten any more than it is right now. So it's good to make a safe knot around a part of an animal so it won't tighten more and cut off circulation. Hello, now we're going to do the tail tie knot. So for this knot, unlike a lot of the other ones, you want your shorter end of your rope on the left side. Got our horse, fake horse right here. I don't have access to a real one today. Tail, I'm going to put our rope kind of in the middle of the tail. Depends on the length of the tail on the horse. Somewhere where that, when you're done tying the knot, you'll have access for a reproductive exam down here. But for me, right in the middle of the tail, again, short end on the left side this time. I'm going to fold our tail up and over the rope so that the rope's kind of sandwiched in the middle of the tail. And take our short end, loop back behind the tail and back in front. And now we're going to loop all the way in front of the tail. So our rope just went all the way around the tail. And then we're going to kind of fish back in and find kind of the side of the rope, make a loop where the loop came out of the middle of the tail, and take our short end, and go in to that loop and duck back out, making kind of another loop. This is kind of our safety pull away loop. And now to tighten, you don't want to pull on this too hard or it'll all fall apart. I'm going to tighten on the farther away, the long piece of our rope originally on the right side here. And then we've got a side loop here that if I pull will automatically undo the whole rope and let the tail down, and our long piece on the right here. Yeah, so now we can do a reproductive exam if we need to. And yeah, there's the side of the rope, and if I pull it, and the tail just comes free like that.